Hi, crafty friends. Today I have 8 budget DIY jewelry ideas that are perfect for holiday selling and holiday gifting. I'm starting with the easiest DIY earring on the planet. These are so simple to make. I'm going to have supplies linked. You're going to start with scrapbook paper. You can also use wrapping paper, old greeting cards. You can print your own paper. Trace that onto the shape of a wood earring. Now this is a teardrop shape, one of my favorite shapes for earrings, but you can use any shape that you want, and then go ahead and cut that out. I like to use a pencil with this so you can erase any of your lines. I'm using satin Mod Podge to attach the paper and to seal the paper. So I'm just going to apply it to the back of the paper. I did not pre-paint these earrings. You could do that if you wanted to. You can also paint the back of the earrings, and many times I use a gold paint pen along the edge. So then you're just going to place that onto the earring, move it into position, and then really press down with your fingers to make sure that is secure. Now you'll repeat that process on the other earring. And then for that hole, while it's a little damp still, I like to go in with a toothpick and just poke that through there and spin it, and that'll give you a nice clean finish. I'm going to top coat with more of the satin Mod Podge. You can use matte or gloss here if you want. And now I'm going to add some sparkle Mod Podge with the Detail Mod Podge paintbrushes. Cute little perfect size for going in. Now when this is dry, that's just going to make Santa's beard really sparkly and cute, but it's a light dusting, so it's not going to look like a glitter earring, but it's going to look so pretty with light, delicate sparkles. I'm adding it to all the little white parts. Okay, so now you know I love my gems. I'm just going to add a little sparkle. I'm using Mod Podge to glue down some tiny gems there. And on this one, I'm just adding more of the Mod Podge sparkle to add some sparkle to those snowmen. I'm using some diamond art gems just to gem up the other designs. Now this technique here, I'm just brushing the sparkle over the entire earring, and that's going to create a light dusting of glitter over the entire thing. And you can layer up these techniques. I'm going to add some tiny gems into the middle of the snowflakes. Don't be afraid to get creative. Now this is all just scrapbook paper, and I love using these diamond painting gems, and you can buy those in bulk in all different colors. They're the perfect size for doing jewelry because they're so tiny. Look how tiny these are. That's a wax pencil. Some people call it a grease pencil. I've got some tiny stars. I believe these were supposed to be for fingernail art, but of course I love them for doing earrings. Look how cute these turn out. These are very inexpensive to make, and you can add your ear wires very easy. Let's take a look at that next. Okay, I've got an ear wire and a jump ring on the bottom of the ear wire, and then I'm going to use another jump ring through the hole of the earring. The reason why you need the 2 jump rings is so that the earring will go the correct direction when you're wearing it. That way it won't twist to the back. So you're going to put your larger jump ring through the hole on the earring, then put your small jump ring through there, and then we're just going to close that up. Not by pulling it apart or pushing it together, but by doing a side to side motion, and that will close that jump ring up. These are very simple to do and really easy to make in bulk. Let's take a look at all of them. They're all so cute together. These are great if you're looking to do bulk gifts to teachers or friends or neighbors. All right, let's take a look at those snowman necklaces. These wood pieces came from Dollar Tree. They're super cute. Look at that fun shape. I'm using a little hand drill just to drill into the top, and then I'm adding an eye screw to the top there. A toothpick is a great way to just get a little leverage there and spin that around. And I like to put this in first, that way I know which direction I want to paint my face. I'm using Folk Art multi-surface paint to go ahead and paint the whole thing white. And then I'm going to add some of that Mod Podge Mega Glitter to sparkle him up, and then just go in and do some detail painting. So again, go ahead and make sure you know which direction you want it to go for your little face. course, the little carrot nose, some eyes. I'm adding some detail. Now those are clay slices. Just go ahead and glue some of those on. The clay slices are in the craft department. You can also find them in nail supplies. They're all over. Glue those down. And then once it's dry, you can go in and top coat with more of that Sparkle Mod Podge and thread it onto some ball chain. Ball chain you can buy in bulk on spools. Look how cute these turn out. Great bulk make. Dollar Tree. All right, let's play with some Dimensional Magic. Dimensional Magic is kind of like resin, but it's no mix and it's non-toxic. It's by Mod Podge. You're going to use a pendant blank. Sorry about this lighting, guys. It was very bright in here with our lights. So we're gonna go ahead and punch out our paper, or you could cut it out to fit the inside. Add a little Mod Podge on the inside there. And then I'm just gonna pick up that paper with the brush. This is actually Steve's hand doing this, not mine. Go ahead and pick that up and place it into your pendant blank. All the craft stores have these pendant blanks, and you can also order them in bulk, which is great if you're making to give in large quantities. We top coated it with a little bit of Mod Podge, and it's very important that you let that dry. Steve's just demonstrating here, if you get an air bubble, you pop it with a pen. So this has been drying for about 5 hours, and now we're gonna go ahead and add our Dimensional Magic, starting around the edge and working your way to the inside, just filling in. And that's gonna dry glassy and clear, almost like a resin, but again, it's not a resin. So it's no smell, non-toxic, no mix. Look how cute these turn out. Okay, we can add layers and embellishments here too. So this one is layers of different paper. This is one of those buttons. You can cut the back off of a shank and go ahead and glue that down to the inside of one of the pendants. And you can fill that in with the Dimensional Magic also. And that creates a really cool 3D look. These are great for earrings because this is very lightweight, really cute for pendants, charms. I've even seen these for little purse charms. You can see how cool those look when they're dry. It really looks like a glassy resin finish. I love this candy cane button. You can see where we added some of this crushed glitter to the edges. Now, if you want that all over crushed glitter look, you're just gonna fill that whole well up with Mod Podge, and then you're gonna fill it in with the crushed glass. This is crushed glass glitter. It's not sharp, but it has a really cool vintage look. Oof, guys, I'm sorry that lighting is so bright right there, but you can see what we're doing. We're filling that in. I think we were filming this very late night one night. That's why we have the lights blasted there. So once it's dry, we're gonna fill in with more of that Dimensional Magic right there on top. So you can see Steve is just working that around the top from the edge to the inside. And then you're gonna let that dry, and that's gonna dry like a really cool look. Well, you can see there, look how cool that looks when it's finished. You can use that same crushed glass just to add details to the corners. Really, the sky's the limit. Think about these as little tiny canvases. All right, next, this is the easiest necklace you're ever gonna make. This is made with ornaments and ball chain. These ornaments I picked up at Hobby Lobby. They were $6.99, but I think I got them at 50% off. And they are so cute. They just look like little gingerbread cookies. So we're gonna just take those, add a jump ring, and slide it onto some ball chain. It really doesn't get any easier than that. So let's take a look. Remember I was saying earlier, you do that side to side motion. We're not pulling our jump ring apart. Now for these, I did have to use a kind of a larger jump ring. So you wanna make sure that you're testing your jump ring size. So it's that simple, just to get that jump ring. Now this one I'm doing a 16-inch. You can decide how long you want your ball chain to be. And for these, I'm using that spooled ball chain because I was showing how to make this in bulk. You could do individual chain, ribbon, whatever you wanted. Really super easy make. All right, who doesn't love the Grinch? Let's make some earrings with stickers. First, I'm going to paint the back of the wood shape. That's the same teardrop shape from the first part of the video, those are actually the ones that I had extra. So I'm using a bunch of different shades of green. These are all of my sort of Grinchy and Christmas greens, and we're going to paint that. I did 2 coats. I did not do the backside, but you can do the backside and do the edges also. So go ahead and just get that nice and painted. You could paint the backside black if you wanted to, gold. I'm going to do 2 coats. It really soaks up a lot of the paint. So depending upon how thick your paint is, let's go ahead and get those edges tapped. I just tap on for the edges. Now we're going to use Mod Podge gloss. You could use matte and satin too. And we have our Grinch stickers. I like to use some tweezers there. You can see it just helps make the placement of stickers easier. Make sure you press down those edges good with your fingers and make sure those stickers are down. All right, we're going to make a bunch of pairs. These are really great craft show sellers. If you're just looking for something to give in bulk and quickly, this is really fun slumber party craft. We'll add our stickers into position, pressing with our fingers just to seal. Now we're going to seal everything with Mod Podge gloss, and that will really keep those stickers in place, and we won't have any trouble with them lifting. It'll also create a nice glossy finish over the entire earring. So smooth out those brush strokes. If you smooth them out like that, you won't get all of those lines. Now we're going to use some extreme glitter. And again, it's kind of like what I did before where we want to highlight some of that snowy white fur. And I'm just sort of dotting it on there. And when that dries, it's going to have a nice little hint of glitter there. This is the Extreme Glitter Mod Podge, and it has the most glitter. Let's add a few more embellishments. You can see those stars are making an appearance again. For the embellishments, I'm just using Mod Podge gloss to glue them down. These are very lightweight, so you don't really need a heavy duty glue. And I'm not top coating back over these. That is a question I get a lot, but you don't really need to top coat over them again. So let's go ahead and glue down our embellishments. And once that's all dry, we'll be ready to add our ear wires. For the ear wires, you can see I've got the ear wire and 2 different size jump rings. I've got the larger one going through the hole on the earring, and then I've got a jump ring that attaches the larger jump ring to the small loop on the ear wire. So you're going to open that up side to side, place the larger one through the hole, and close that up. Make sure that's good and tight. Sometimes I give it an extra pinch there. And now you're going to take a smaller jump ring, attach it to your ear wire, and then thread it through the jump ring that is on the earring. You want to do it this way so that the earrings can rotate a bit, and that way when you're wearing it, the Grinch sticker will be facing outwards. So it's really that easy. Look how adorable these are. Can you believe stickers? All right, now let's dive into some resin. This is Mod Podge resin, and you can make all sorts of things with this. Safety first, I am using a mask. This is a 2-part resin, so it's a little bit more in depth than the Dimensional Magic that I showed you earlier. You're going to use silicone molds. I'm using some letter beads, glitter, just any kind of little embellishments that you want to embed into your resin. So you're going to mix equal parts 1 and 2, and you're going to stir to combine those. You're going to stir for 3 minutes, and you might feel it getting warm, and that's when it's activating and really combining and mixing well. Don't worry if you have a little air bubbles right now. We're going to pop those later. So go ahead and mix, and then let it sit for the 3 minutes. Once the 3 minutes is up, you're going to be ready to embed all of your adorable things. You can see here I'm using some letter beads. So I'm pouring that into my mold. These are silicone molds that are specifically designed for resin. Let's add some sparkles. This is chunky glitter. I personally love the chunky glitter in the barrettes. You can use a toothpick or a silicone wand to help move your designs around. Then let's go ahead and add some letter beads. Depending upon your mold, sometimes you need to put your letter beads in upside down. So just make sure that whatever direction you're putting them in, it's the proper direction for where you're going to unmold. So go ahead and add some of those. And then these are some more of those clay slices. You can find these at all of the craft stores now, but lots of times you can find them in fingernail art sets where you can get lots of different designs for very inexpensive. Many times they're seasonal, so here you see candy canes, and then let's top the whole thing off with more resin. You can see that I'm wearing gloves here. This is something that you're going to be in a well-ventilated area and using gloves. So you can see how those turn out with all of the things embedded once they are cured. Okay, let's go ahead and add some alcohol ink to one. And you can tint the resin. I do want to say that all of these pieces dried for 24 hours overnight. You don't want to add too much liquid to your resin, so start with just a drop or two and then combined. This is alcohol ink. You can also add paints, all sorts of things. Again, don't worry about those bubbles there. I'm going to show you how you take care of them. You can take care of them in a variety of ways. You can spray with rubbing alcohol. You can take a quick flame to them. And that's what that color looks like when it's dry. So let's go ahead and add some of these star embellishments. Or I guess these are snowflake embellishments. So go ahead and place those into the resin. And then this one you can see I have added the glitter directly to the resin. So there are many different ways that you can make these. It's really fun to just get creative. Use up some of those supplies. These are such a small little canvas here. Okay, so here I'm spraying the tops with rubbing alcohol, and that will help break up any of the bubbles. And after 24 hours, you can unmold them. Look how cool these look. I love that red one. You can do letter beads, you can do sparkles, glitter, whatever you want. Now that we have these pieces pulled out, sometimes you might have a rough edge and you could go ahead and sand that edge. These turned out pretty great. I'm just going to use my fingernail to kind of clip off a little bit of the extra, that overhang. And now we're ready to glue them to our barrette clips. And you can buy these in bulk also. I'm using an E6000 type glue here. You can see I'm going to let those dry. And once they're dry, you will have these gorgeous hair clips. These make great gifts. All right, let's do some make to sell earrings. I'm going to show you how you do this adorable display using a splatter screen from Dollar Tree. So that's the splatter screen there, and you can see how it's perfect for holding earrings. So if you're selling at a boutique, this is a really cool project to make. Let's get started with our display. First, I'm going to go ahead and add some Mod Podge around that edge. And I'm not worrying about being too neat because I'm adding a trim there too. And I'm going to add some sparkles there. We're just glittering that edge just to finish it off and make it look less like a splatter screen. Now I'm hot gluing some trim to that inside edge just to finish it off. You could do any color you wanted. I went with white because I wanted something a little bit snowy. Now this is a bucket that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm painting it with some Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint. Kind of works as a primer, but I'm doing napkin decoupage on this, so I need a light color so that the colors of the napkin pop through. This is water here. I'm just using the top printed ply of a napkin, and I'm going in and giving that a feathered edge by painting water around it. Now let's add some Mod Podge to our little sleigh base here, and then we'll place that napkin right on top, and we'll continue to add the napkin all around the design. I'm smoothing with my fingers and the paintbrush just to remove any wrinkles, and that will get that completely sealed down. This is one of my favorite techniques for making over Dollar Tree items because you can really create a coordinated look just with a stack of napkins. These napkins here were from the Pioneer Woman. I actually picked these up at Walmart. These are a couple years old, but I have seen them on eBay. Look how gorgeous that looks when it's completely covered. All right, let's fill in these insides. I'm using a little foam brick here, and this is just gonna hold our splatter screen in place. And I am using some plaster of Paris for this. If you didn't want to do plaster of Paris, you could easily fill with rocks or small heavy items. You want to weigh it down so that if you're selling at a boutique or you're putting this on display somewhere, it's not going to fall over. Just adding a little hot glue there just to hold it in place. Now here's my plaster of Paris. Again, you could use rocks or any other kind of thing to weight this down. Even at Dollar Tree, they have those little glass pebbles, and those would work good too. And I gotta tell you, I've actually used cans of tuna and soup cans before in the past. So just get creative. We are gonna be topping this off with a decorative element on top. So whatever you choose to weigh it down with, don't worry about what it looks like because it will all get covered up. So I'm putting the plaster of Paris down in there and I'm gonna let that cure. This, like the resin, will start to feel warm when it is curing. So don't worry if you feel a little warmness there. Let's take a look about what it looks like when it's all finished, when you've got some filler in there. So cute. All right, let's make some earrings. This is another type of wood blank. I love these because they've got a lot of personality. You can use a circle punch to cut out the shapes, which makes it super easy. You can see I'm doing a circle punch for that inside and for the whole outside shape. So grab some holiday papers. Even greeting cards are really fun here. I'm using Mod Podge gloss for applying that to the back of the paper. And then I'm just gonna place that right onto the wood disc. These wood discs you can buy in bulk. I will make sure I link all of this stuff. Press down. If you're giving in bulk or if you are making to sell, these are very quick to do. We're gonna go ahead and use a toothpick again to open up that hole. And we're gonna do that same jump ring technique, doing the larger jump ring at the bottom. Let's add some charms. And we've got our ear wire that we're attaching there. Go ahead and close that up. And look how cute that is with the charm just dangling in that center. So here I'm filling up the base there, add some ornaments, you can add ribbons. Now this one I'm doing as a holiday theme, but if you were selling at a Halloween bazaar, you could do this same technique and just do it with different types of buckets on the bottom. Even a cauldron would be cool. Look how cute all those earrings look like on display with this Dollar Tree idea. All right, let's do some mushroom necklaces. These are Dollar Tree wood pieces, and I'm doing painting on those. I wanted to do sort of a fun woodland Christmassy colors. I'm using dishwasher safe Mod Podge to make them very durable. So here's our wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I've got some Mod Podge detail paint brushes and some apple barrel paints. I love these paints for painting small pieces like this. The paints are a little thinner, so they really go on so smoothly and nicely. All right, let's paint the whole thing. You can see I'm doing a bunch of different colors. You can choose whatever colors you want. I was making these for the idea of making to sell, so I wanted to have a lot of different colors for customers to choose from. I'm gonna do a second coat on the top, and then we are going to pick up some khaki and antique white paint. And let's go ahead and add that khaki to the bottom. I'm creating a feathered edge there, not a perfect edge, so that it looks more natural like a mushroom. But if you like it more modern, you could finish that off and make it perfect. Now let's go ahead and paint the bottom of that with the khaki paint also. This is a nail daughter tool. I'm gonna use that vanilla paint there and go in and add some of our mushroom dots. This is a really cool tool. They come in lots of different sizes. Look how cute they all look. All right, let's drill some holes and turn these into pendants. This is my little hand drill. I love this drill, and I'm gonna use some gold eye hooks here because I'm using gold chain. So just put that in the center, and then we're going to twist it. I'm doing a drill bit that's a tiny bit smaller than my eye hooks, and these are jewelry eye hooks. If you wanted to add a dot of glue there, you could. I'm using a toothpick to help me twist that down in so it's nice and firm. Now all of these are ready to be finished off with some Mod Podge dishwasher safe. So for these ones that I want clear, I'm just going ahead and doing a nice coat all over the entire mushroom. Now if you wanted to add some sparkle, that's a different story, and we do have a Mod Podge formula for that. Here I'm using Extreme Glitter. This is a very light dusting of glitter. So you can paint that over it and you're gonna get a nice sparkle. Once those are dry, just feed some chain through there and you have a quick and easy necklace. Now, how are we gonna sell these? Let's make another Dollar Tree display. For this one, I'm using that wall tile, a frame. I'm going to use a tin bucket and a paper towel holder. So the first step is that we're going to disassemble our frame, and I'm keeping all the pieces and parts because we're gonna be using those, including the glass piece. For our tile there, we're going to paint it and trim it to size. So I'm just using my glass as a guide. Go ahead and mark it. This cuts very easily. It's very thin plastic. So go ahead and cut it. And then we're going to paint it with the Folkart Home Decor chalk. The back of this is white, so if you didn't want that upper facing embossed edge, you could just skip this step. Go ahead and test it, make sure it fits good. All right, let's go ahead and paint it white. I love this chalk paint. It gives a real matte finish. It's really pretty for showing off anything that you're selling. Has a little bit of a country feel, but it's very modern at the same time. Let's go ahead and put our pieces back together. This is all dry. You can see there how the back of it's white. So if you like that reverse, you wouldn't need to paint it, but I sort of like the embossing facing outward. Go ahead and put all of that together. Now I should say that I do remove the little easel part. All right, let's add some hooks. These are from Dollar Tree also. I've gone ahead and prepped my surface by cleaning it. And I'm using a ruler to just measure where I'm gonna put those down. These are very durable. Just make sure you have a good clean surface to begin with. I've never had a problem with them holding necklaces. So I'm doing 2 rows, 1 row a little bit at the top and 1 a little bit below. Now for our tin can base, you can really use anything here. I'm gonna do napkin decoupage on it. I found these mushroom napkins and I thought, well, this is perfect for our mushroom necklaces. So I'm adding some Mod Podge there. I'm just using that same dishwasher formula, adding my napkin and using the brush and my fingers to smooth that down. Again, this is such an easy way if you want to make a coordinated look on a table where you might be selling or displaying. You could repeat this napkin on all sorts of different things. Go ahead and press that to the inside until the whole thing is glued down, and then you can top coat with a little bit more just to make it more durable. Now we're going to turn this into our jewelry display. Add a little hot glue on the inside there, and you can see my paper towel holder down in the right corner. That is what we're gonna glue into the center. It is important that whatever your base container is, make sure that your paper towel holder will fit in there. So let's go ahead and add a few more glue points just to secure that. Then we're gonna put some foam around. If you needed to weigh this down more, you could. Add some foam all the way around. And don't worry, we are gonna finish that off. Now this part is important. You're going to want to make sure that your frame is resting on the top of the container. So the paper towel works as the support, but the container is what's holding it up at the bottom. So I've got some blue tape there just to hold that into position, and then we're gonna go ahead and hot glue that down. Next, I'm gonna add some moss. You could do paper crinkle shred here, just anything to kind of cover that up, but I thought the moss would be pretty with our mushroom theme. Go ahead and hot glue that down. Got one of my finger cap protectors there. Let's go ahead and add some of our mushrooms that don't have the chains attached, and you can see that those chains are perfect on those little hooks. I love how this display turns out. You could do these hooks for bracelets, earrings, all kinds of different things, but they are perfect for the necklaces. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed these 8 budget DIY jewelry ideas. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.